Ryan from NicheMax, and today I'm going to take a look at a really interesting website. The website is pissconsumer.com, and what this website does, it warehouses tons of complaints about different companies. So I pulled up an example page here, this one, Meaningful Beauty. And you can see what the site does is it allows users to submit complaints. Like on every landing page here, you can see there's this little box on top, and if you click into it, you can submit a review. So it's a site that employs user-generated content and basically compiles a lot of structured data about the company. So you can see issues that were resolved, total reviews, claimed losses, and so you get this long, infinite scroll of different reviews. And then there are ads inside. So the way this site works is it basically ranks for a bunch of terms, like basically they rank for a lot of brand terms, so say like commerce, insurance, if you were to click into this and see. Actually, this is a little bit different, this particular page. This is like a company page, but this particular page is kind of the complaint page. And so they rank for a lot of company keywords and a lot of like service queries and things like that, like DoorDash customer service, for example. But really the bread and butter of this is this complaint page where people are submitting reviews of different companies. And usually they're, as the name implies, they're pissed off about something. So I wrote up a whole guide about this particular site and basically how it makes money. And you can see, as I already kind of went over it, in this particular landing page, you're running ads on it, and as the page loads, the infinite scroll, more ads are going to appear. In terms of how much it makes, I plugged in some numbers from SimilarWeb. So according to SimilarWeb, it's averaging 1.72 million visits over the past 6 months, and pages per visitor at 2.06. So if you were to calculate all that out, divide 1.72 by 1,000, you get 1720. Multiply that by 2.06, you get basically 3,500, and then you can choose like a CPM amount. So say if it was like $10, maybe the site is making like $35,000 a month. That's really just a ballpark estimate of what I see in terms of ad revenue. So I also did some keyword research, and you can access this on the post itself. I use Ahrefs for this. So you can see things like My Pillow complaints. It has a search volume of 8,000, which is pretty big. Actually, I don't know if they do affiliate on it. I don't think they do. It'd be kind of weird if they did, but they could probably make some money from affiliate marketing. I don't think they do that. I think they're just running ads. And so basically, the different types of content themes that they're ranking for, like things like their brand terms. So they're going to rank for a lot of corporate names. And the interesting thing about like corporate names is they're very low competition. So something like this, Modelly, I don't know what it is, but it's keyword difficulty. Yeah, see, keyword difficulty is 7, very low. Another interesting one is a Swinger Zone Central, which is some sort of adult dating site, for swingers. That's a keyword difficulty of 0. So a lot of times these brand terms, they get relatively big search volumes, but they're pretty low keyword difficulty. So that's really how it generates as much traffic as it does, is because the brand terms aren't that hard to rank for per se, but they do end up oftentimes getting a lot of traffic. The other thing they rank for is customer service queries, like the example I chose is Radiant Revive phone number. So you can see in a page like this, they're very smart about like the on-page stuff. They have a lot of information on these complaint pages and on these kind of customer service pages that they've created. So it has these, I've seen entire websites that are just totally based on customer support information, and they get tons of traffic. The other thing they will sometimes rank for are lawsuit searches. Like there's one example, a clear choice lawsuit. So if you went to Ahrefs and then typed in lawsuit, just to see all the different keywords they rank for. So they got like almost 2,500 lawsuit terms. So you have G lawsuit, North American Hunting Club lawsuit. If you click into it, you'll see this looks like, I'm not exactly sure what this, it's like a comment, yeah, it's like a comment thread or sort of like a forum thread. So you can see a lot of people are talking about it. And you can see a lot of stuff is very, like this person says, please help, my mother died and I was taking advantage of my money back. There's a lot of very, people get very angry at companies, obviously, and then they start posting some pretty angry stuff, sort of distressing information. So that's sort of a downside that I'll touch on later to a site like this. But okay, so the last thing that they rank for are like review type searches. So if you go into Ahrefs, type in review, you'll see that that's another, well, so it has it in the, because review is actually a category or something, a path of the URL, but you can see in the keywords like top header reviews, Rosedale reviews, Dressley reviews. So if you search it, like they rank like number 8 for that. So if you searched it, let's see, pissed, you'll see right there. If you open that up, it's the same. They just add the keyword reviews in there because they know that that's like a really smart kind of H1 to include. They got a Q&A section. It's a very, very intelligently designed website. Like there's stats, there's all sorts of cool stuff in here. Like they have all these graphs that kind of give you a trend line about what the customer experience is. Number of comments, you can see whatever reason it spiked March 3rd, it really pissed people off, or the week of March 3rd. Very interesting. You know, this is how you really leverage user-generated content. It's not just like getting people to comment, like they're able to capture all this information when people input their complaints, which is really smart. It makes the site really unique and useful. And they do have a bunch of competitors. So according to Ahrefs, this consumer basically ranks for about 1 million keywords, 976,000. But if you take a look at my keyword research, or rather these different competitors, Ahrefs pulls this out in organic search. So you can see within here, if you go to overview, you'll get, and you click into organic once you're inside of overview. You'll get their top 10 competitors in the United States. Which has to load. So these, so I took these and then I put them into the batch analysis and got this full list. So it's not even the biggest one out there, like SiteJabber, Consumer Affairs, Trustpilot, Crunchbase, and Better Business Bureau all have more keywords. So these are somewhat different. Like Crunchbase is a totally different animal. Consumer Affairs, SiteJabber, Trustpilot are kind of in the same vein. Better Business Bureau is sort of the king of it all, I'd see. 11.3 million organic keywords. So these are, and then GetHuman is an example of one of those types of sites where they're just ranking for like customer service queries. So it's a sort of a silo of content that this consumer already has. You know, it's how do you get a human on a phone for all these different websites. It's very clever. So in terms of what I would do if I were to enter into this niche, I don't think that I necessarily would, but it really thrives off of user-generated content. So if I were to enter into this, I would focus on keyword research first. And you see, you know, my keyword research table here, like these keywords, I take a look at, you know, what are the best opportunities to pick off. Looking at difficulty and search volume, you can see Java shop reviews, 5200, 7. I mean, what I would do, I'd probably pick off like a silo of content I'd want to create. Say it's something like maybe health websites or health product websites, just as an example. Maybe like My Pillow would be part of it. So I'd create a category like health, and then create like 10 posts in that vertical, creating like an on-page, something similar to this, but it wouldn't be as robust. Because obviously I won't have any user-generated content to start. But what I would try to do is figure out how I can kind of replicate what this does in terms of how to solicit user-generated content. So I do the keyword research, I create a hypothetical structure for the website. Like I choose like 2 or 3 silos to start, like, medical, entertainment, I don't know, something like that. And then I put these different keywords under them and then create content. So I figure out what sort of on-page content I want to create. Maybe I would just sort of write 1,000 words compiling this information, kind of a rewrite of what the consensus review is of a meaningful beauty. So I'd do something like that, and then I would try to figure out how could I recreate this to some extent. So in terms of how you can do that, there are WordPress directory themes. So if you go to theme forest, this is an example, this can grow. So this type of site would have, or this type of theme would have some built-in functionalities that might be useful for you if you want to do some sort of user-generated website. So yeah, this might go somewhat of a way towards solving some of the technology challenges of creating something like this consumer. There's also a plugin like user-submitted posts. This is something you might want. It has over 30,000 installations. So it looks like if you get the Pro feature, there's all these different things that you can gather from users. So it's like adds a front-end form, get a template tag or shortcode, enables the visitor to submit posts and upload images. So if you add you really have to test this out and maybe just aim for like a minimum viable product to start. Like you have a post on meaningful beauty, and then you experiment with this plugin here to see if what sort of information you could solicit from people, and then how it would look, and how you can kind of integrate it. So I would try to do that to start, just try to get sort of an MVP up, and then just see how it performs. I track it in Ahrefs, add it to my dashboard, and just see after, say, 50 posts, what it looks like, and then how you can kind of iterate on it, maybe even hire a developer just to get the technology working right. The other thing you can do, you can solicit reviews. They're over on Code Canyon. There are like Twitter bots that you can use to send like automated messages. I'm not saying spam anybody, but say you want to solicit reviews for something like meaningful beauty, you could have like a form, maybe even sending them to a dedicated page using this particular plugin, and then get these people to, like these people are angry at My Pillow, or they mention My Pillow. They don't have to just be angry. You could just, you can even do this manually to start. Direct message these people, reply to their tweet, and say, we're interested in your review, your experience with My Pillow. Maybe just offer them like an incentive, like into them like a raffle for an iPad. So maybe after 1,000 submissions, after 1,000 user reviews, we're going to choose one review and give you an iPad, something like that. And that could be worth it. I don't even know how much an iPad is. So say you're spending like $500 on an iPad, then you get 1,000 submissions, maybe averaging 250 words a piece or something, or 100 words. It's a pretty good ROI for the content. So that's basically how I'd approach doing it. Just get the minimal viable product up, do the keyword research, figure out the technology. I mean, this is a bit more challenging than your average site. And for sure, if you just wanted to do like a basic version, like you can just do standard WordPress posts and just kind of rewrite some of the stuff about what consumers are saying and include some of the customer service stuff. That would definitely get you a lot of traffic. But I really like how robust this site is. I think it's really cool. And granted, you're not going to be able to build all this out over, 3 to 6 months. Like, there's a lot going on here. They've probably spent years developing. So in terms of what I do like the user-generated content. It's sort of a double-edged sword. There's a lot of people who are searching for these companies and they want to express their opinion. The other thing I like is the awesome on-page experience. So in terms of like SEO and all that, they're doing a lot of stuff to get the traffic and to kind of optimize for the search engines, but they're also doing a lot of on-page stuff to make this a great user experience, which is kind of the game with SEO now. It's you want to have good user engagement metrics. I really suspect that they do have very good engagement metrics. The things that I don't like user-generated content issues is the double-edged sword here. So here's like an example of a review of someone saying that they want Nordstrom's to die. Like, this would be really weird content to have on your website. I wouldn't want to have stuff like that on my website. Maybe there's some real legal liabilities. And then the other thing with user-generated content is that you'll end up ranking for a lot of weird keywords. Like I already touched on, Search Zone Central. It's the adult website. That's their 5th best keyword the last time I took a look. So that's what happens. Like, people are going to write about random things, and you're going to end up optimizing for it, or being optimized for these random keywords. And if you just let kind of people on the internet decide the content direction of your website, is going to go in some pretty strange directions. The other thing is ad eligibility. Like, getting it off the ground and into something like AdSense can be difficult these days, especially if your site is very thin or has offensive content on it. Those are 2 things I would kind of make sure to address. Like, I wouldn't even apply to AdSense. So obviously you want some traffic. There's no point in you're getting 100 visits a month. Like, don't even bother with AdSense. Get it up to a meaningful amount of traffic, several thousand. Ideally, at least 1,000 a day, 500 a day before I even apply. Just make sure the site looks really robust with the content. So overall, I think it's a really interesting type of website. It's there's a lot of low competition keywords that you can target, and just let me know in the comment section what you think. And that's it for this pitch report. Until next time.